Good afternoon. My name is Odie Hawkins, and once again, I'm here to read from one of the columns I wrote for the African Times newspaper. I wrote for 2 years, 96 to 98, and I'm rereading columns that I wrote during that period of time to find out how much immediacy, how much, what parallel circumstances have happened since then up till now. And I find it to be startlingly interesting to find out, myself, to find it interesting to see how much of what I said then, what I wrote then is so pertinent to today.
Yes.
For example, we still have some problems between us, I think, at times, continental Africans and Africans in the diaspora that is called us.
Mm-hmm.
So, this piece is called Conflicts and Contradictions Between Africans and African Americans. The old world African versus the new world African. A friend of mine coined the term, the continental Africans and the new world Africans, continental Africans.
Mm-hmm.
It happened at a Ladera Heights party. An African couple, she gorgeous and beautifully gowned, the man handsome in his beige political suit, were speaking to each other in Tree, a Ghanaian language, when an African American interrupted their conversations in Tree. The brief exchange that followed was obviously not cordial. Stevie Wonder could have seen that. And a short time later, the African couple made a stealthy exit. Curious, I approached the tree-speaking African-American woman. Pardon me, sister, for being so nosy, but what was that about? 10 minutes later, I staggered back to the ginger beer bowl, slightly numb from the information she had laid on me. Some Africans have strange and I feel absurd ideas about African Americans and our cultures.
Yes.
I'm saying cultures because that's the way we've evolved. There's the African-Cuban culture, the Afro-Venezuelan, Afro-Brazilian, Afro-Haitian, Afro-Nicaraguan, Afro-Jamaican, Afro-Bade, and of course, the African-American northern branch. The couple who just left were expressing their opinion of us as obruni, Europeans.
Mm.
And their opinions were negative. I felt compelled to bust them. They also expressed a deeply felt notion by some Africans, especially in Ghana and Nigeria, that African Americans are like Trakosi, people sent away to atone for the sins of their ancestors.
Oh my.
A bit like the Japanese belief that the survivors and descendants of Hiroshima and Nagasaki possess bad karma because they were in the wrong place at the wrong time. Precisely.
Precisely.
Later, another gathering a month ago, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Nigeria, look at them. They can't get it together.
Mm.
Straight across the fattest part of Africa to the East Coast. Chaos. A rumbling gut of a guy, cut straight from the Reverend Sharpton's tradition, wasn't speaking Tree. What about the effects of centuries of slave-taking, colonial manipulations, neo-colonial conspiracies, my brother? No matter. They were messed up when the Europeans got there. Huh? Okay. What?
Mm.
Oh well, as we all know, Zimbabwe, Ife, Oyo, Benin, Timbuktu, Old Ghana, Mali, Canyon, Bornu, and Songhay weren't built in a day. And the negative opinions that some old and new world Africans have of each other, fueled by ignorance and the usual suspects, may take just as long to change. One media step in that direction might be to have a public access channel or an internet website for an honest exchange between Africans and people of African descent. Perhaps we should determine the program's our success when Whoopi called me anything but African American a book. Goldberg, Ward, African American is divisive. I'm just an American. 60 Minutes, August 2nd, 1998. Mike Wallace interviewing Connolly and Clarence Thomas have been rescued from the snake pits of psychosocial stupidity and self-hatred. Well, I could go on and on about the distinctions and differences, but we're more alike than different. In addition to that, they found, we got this from the latest National Geographic, that there's a greater diversity of people in Africa than all the rest of the world combined.
Oh, how appropriate.
Can you believe that?
I can believe it. That's so true.
They speak something like 2,000 languages
Oh my goodness. How nice.
from north to south and from west to east.
Okay.
In addition to that, the people don't all look alike. I was surprised to find when I lived in Ghana that there were a lot of people just peanut brown like us, and they weren't not quite as dark as your shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And there were other people who were quite light down on Cape Coast and all around that. So we need to.
So in this, the year of the dragon, things are
go to the well and drink together.
still things are dragging still on.
That's all I can say. The dragons wait for you to drink, and you'll join us.
Okay. Hope in good terms.
Hey.
All right. Your website is www.odiehawkins.com. Your new book, Quadrant Balls. And
Did you see this?
I see this.
It's called the Quadroon Balls and Bright Moments. The Quadroon Balls are like the first part of the book. I've written it as a novella. And then the so-called bright moments, as I call them, short stories that have various layers and nuances of raciality in it. Because there's no way I could be an African American writer and not write a black book.
Yes.
Or so they say.
And we're waiting for the author's copies, and hopefully Zach Evans of Amazon Publishing Zone will contact us.
Meanwhile, if somebody wants to get it before,
it can be purchased on Amazon.
Amazon.com.
There's an ebook, it's a paperback, and it's a hard copy.
The artist who did the cover was my friend Tony Gleason, who was a superb artist, and I'll let that go at that.
Okay, and we will mention that inside there's also a drawing by Carlos Peavy and some other photos and what have you.
By Zola Salena-Hawkins.
Well, some of it anyway.
It's a family affair.
It is a family affair. And with that, your website is www.odiehawkins.com. And with that, Mr. Hawkins.
Yeah.
Ness.